Tashidelek, everyone.
Thầy xin gửi lời chào đến tất cả quý vị đạo hữu ạ.
So now pick up from what we left a couple of weeks ago, which is Master Nagarjuna's the teaching on the book known as The Letter to Our Friend. So the chapter that we were covering, we have been covering, is the chapter on basically the suffering of the suffering of samsara in general, and suffering of the three lower realms in particular. And we covered the hell realms, and then now we have reached to the point of as well as the now we have reached the point of the animal realm. So the point of this particular, the very point, in summary, the point the Master Nagarjuna is making is basically the one that was highlighted by Buddha Shakyamuni 600 years before the Nagarjuna's time, which is the basic rule of law in law of causality, or the cause and effect, karma. So one is born in the lower realm because of negative karma, and one is born into the higher realms due to positive karma, and one suffers in the lower realms and one enjoys in the higher realm. So this is so this particular teaching on this particular reference to the detailed reference to the suffering of hell beings, animals, as well as the pretas, are basically in line with the Buddha's teaching of law, the law of causality, karma. So there's two verses on the topic, on the subject of suffering concerning animal realms. So let me read that out in Tibetan first. Yeah, verse number 89 and 90. Verse number 90. Kaji mudi pedang ruba shadang pabe cheto chiwarkyo wame shenda doba lawa tang chadang chayju dabe tabde gul. So these are the two verses. Verse number 89, which talks about the general suffering. For animal, there is multifold distress. They are slaughtered, tied up, beaten, and the rest. For those denied the virtue that brings peace, there is agony as one devours another. Verse number 90, some of them are killed just for their pearls, their wools or bones, their meat or skins and fur. And other helpless beasts are forced to work. They are kicked or struck with hands, with whips and goats.
Yeah.
Okay. So so here it's it speaks in detail about the multitude of sufferings that an animal goes through. In general, animals are, when we talk about the flows of the animal realm, in general, we usually say the animals are dull or stupid. So the suffering of animals are due to their stupidity. The stupidity basically here means that they can be controlled. They can be controlled. They can be controlled, and they can be manipulated to do what the human beings want them to do. So either by using some force or some treats. You give them some treat, they do what, or you beat them, and you use some harsh force. And in the beginning, later on, you don't need to use that anymore. Basically, you can always control the animal. So therefore, animals are known for their stupidity. So therefore, the human beings, the difference is that human beings have the ability to see the deception when someone's lying to you or trying to take advantage of you. Human beings in general have the um, the potential to see the deception and then overcome that, whereas the animals don't have. No, even if that animal is 10 times bigger than the human being, that animal can still be controlled by the tiny human being. Okay, so I will go into the detail with the text. So animals, multitude, the distress of animals are a multitude. For animals, there's multitude distress. They are slaughtered, tied up, beaten, and the rest. For those denied the virtue that brings peace, there's agony as one devours another. So, so the first two lines for animals, there's the first two lines speaks about the result, the effect, and the third line actually speaks about the cause. And the fourth line explains the process. So basically, the first two lines are the what. The third line is why, and the fourth line is how. So for that matter, the third line, for those denied the virtue that brings peace. So basically means someone who is not practicing the virtue that brings the peace. Basically, it is referring to the 10 virtuous deeds. So one who is abandoned, or one who has not practicing the 10 virtuous deeds. For those, the first two lines, the outcomes, the outcome of the first two lines are certainty.
Yeah.
So they are slaughtered. Yeah, the animals are being killed. So there's animals being killed in the animal kingdom, right? A tiger killing, pouncing on a deer, on this and that. So that's one way. That's one way of that's one way of suffering, right? But that kind of suffering is for survival. The tiger kills the deer, and the deer may eat some insect, this and that. So basically, the life cycle continues like that. And the tiger itself, when it dies or when it's wounded, it can be killed by hyenas and other animals. So it just goes like that. That is one way of even though they kill each other, it's a form of survival, it's a form of a natural instinct. But then there is the other form of suffering in the animal realm, which is being slaughtered for profit. So like a slaughterhouse, meat house, etc. So human beings killing 1 or 2 uh, 1 or 2 uh, 1 or 2 killing 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 1 or animals for their survival in cold places per year. That is one way of one way of living. The another is herding so many animals in a slaughterhouse and then killing them on a daily basis for profit. So that kind of thing actually accumulates a huge negative karma, a very strong negative karma.
Yeah.
So animals being killed in the slaughterhouse, then animals. So in order to before they're being being slaughtered is one form of suffering, but I mean that may last for 2 minutes to 10 minutes at most. But then before the killing itself, when they're being packed in a slaughterhouse for weeks, then packed very tightly, then the animals being transported from one place to another, basically for human consumption. Yeah, and then they were lined up in a slaughterhouse. Then they see their own siblings, their own like maybe the mother or the brother calf or whatever. They see their own siblings being slaughtered, their own friends being slaughtered, etc. And then they see the other animal, their friends being slaughtered, and then they are scared. They're scared for themselves, and then they fear that they feel compassion. They feel, I don't know about compassion, but uh, they feel the sense of loss, losing their loved ones in front of them. So basically, all these things they have to go through all this form of suffering. Uh, of course, they get beaten up and they get tired, and then not being fed properly, and in very unhygienic condition, etc. So not only the death itself, but all the steps that closing up to the moment of death, all these are suffering for these animals. So therefore, the animals being so animals being killed in the animal kingdom is one. It's one way. Yeah, it's another matter. But animals being slaughtered in the outside of the animal kingdom, basically in the human world, so that is a different matter, right? In the past, we when we live in the cave or in the settlements, that time we used to we take care of the animal that we consume. We kill them ourselves, and we take responsibility for that. Nowadays we have slaughterhouses which tends to those more or less tends to those animals, and then kills them for us. And then you can actually nowadays buy the meat in the modern society. You can buy the meat from groceries, um, where you don't even see the blood, you don't see the animal's pain or nothing. So when you go to buy when you go to buy meat from a grocery store, you can buy everything guilt-free. Whereas in the past, when you have to kill the animal that you have to eat with your own hand, then there is a connection. So even though you have to eat that animal meat for survival, just like a tiger would eat the deer or etc., but you take care of that animal for some time, and then you have to kill that animal for New Year or some wedding celebration or whatever special occasion. So even though you are eating an animal, you have that connection with that the animal that you're eating. You sort of know that animal personally. But nowadays, when the animals that we eat are actually killed in the slaughterhouse, everything prepared by somebody else, whom even those who prepared the meat we have never met, and then it's placed in a grocery store, right? Um, Especially in the modern cities, right? In the rural areas, still a little bit better. But then, yeah, basically everything has been taken care of someone else, and we felt guilt. We don't feel the guiltiness. We don't feel the guilt of killing someone. And when we don't feel the guilt, we don't feel the connection. And when we don't feel the connection, it's very hard for us to have a deep compassion for the animal, the meat of the animal that we consume. So the next line. Some of them are killed just for their pearls. Their wolves or bones, their meat, skins, and fur. And others beasts are forced to work. They are kicked or struck with hands, with whips and goats. So the first one is animal being not only killed by in the animal kingdom, but by human beings and all that. So you can say, okay, it is for the survival of the human society, so that we consume the animal meat. But then what about killing animals for their bones, their pearl, etc., like the ivory, the tusk of an elephant, the skin of a tiger, the pearl of the oyster, etc. So how do we justify that? That is not for survival. We can survive without the tusk. We can survive without the animal skin. We can survive without a pearl, etc. But just to what happens is human beings become so lazy and basically so bored of entertainment, and then we wanted to just due to our boredom, we want to entertain, make our lives more exciting, and then manipulate and play with other sentient beings' life, just to make our lives a little bit more exciting. Using animals for games, using animals' skin, etc. So these are what we do as human beings. Yeah, we manipulate, we play with their lives, we play with their their very life. Yeah, and then we don't. There is no. Most of the time, there is no outcome for that. There is no consequence for playing with animals' life in the human society. If we play with a person's life, if we abuse someone, if we kill someone as in a human being, then we get jail for life. We get long imprisonment, etc. But if we kill a cow or if we kill a chicken, there is no imprisonment, no consequences, at least from this lifetime, or basically from the legal point of view, from the law of the land, there is no consequences, right? So therefore, we humans play with the lives of so many animals. Yeah. In the past, people wear fur. Sometimes there is a reason behind that. Just as I said before, all the animals that we eat, we consume, we kill ourselves, right? So therefore, when we wear the fur of an animal, like a tiger skin, it actually makes some sense those days in the past, because the warrior, it shows how courageous, how brave you are, how much of a warrior you are. Because you, in order to get the animal skin, you have to go there and fight with the animal, with the beast. Um, you almost have to do a hand-to-hand combat, right? You cannot shoot them from far with a gun. You have to fight them with a knife or some sort of a sharp tool that you may have. So when you are able to kill a tiger or a wolf or animal like that, that means how strong you are, how agile, how athletic your body is, how strong you are, how sharp you are, etc. So in the past, then they wear the animal's skin and to show how brave they are, because at those days, in the savage time, that is how you prove your importance to the society. That way, you become everybody respect you. The community, you gain respect from the community for these things. But in today's time, the evaluation meter is totally different. People are not respected for that's not how you gain respect, right? You people, and nowadays people don't have to go to if I'm wearing a animal skin, if I'm carrying a a bag that is made of a crocodile leather, I have not killed that crocodile myself. So in the past, it makes sense because you are able to kill a crocodile with your own hands. So it shows how strong you are. But now when you carry a crocodile bag, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So therefore, um, so therefore, it's a time to rethink our fashion sense, everything. Yeah, like what we are doing. Yeah. So therefore, to keep in order to how to say, in order to not engage in negative karma, um, it's it's a wise choice to keep away from to abstain from to keep away from taking harming others, harming animals, like not taking meat, and then not using animal goods, animal this and that. Um, um, and if you cannot, how to say, if you cannot abstain from taking meat all your life, but on special occasions, we have in Tibetan tradition, we abstain from consuming meat on special occasions like the 15th, the full moon day, and the 8th, 10th, 15th, and the 25th, etc. So basically, on special occasions, when you abstain from uh, engaging in negative actions, then even though you may not be able to abstain your whole life, but the few days that you have taken off, the few months that you have taken off, that you have abstained from taking meat and using animal product, etc., that much of positivity, that much of positive karma you accumulate. The most important thing is that when you are consuming meat or using anything, even though so sometimes it for your health reason and many other things, you may not be able to discard, you may not be able to um, abstain from taking animal meat and product and for all your life. So in such cases, what you get uh, it's very difficult, right? So what you can do is whenever you are consuming animal product, right? Something as harmless as drinking a milk. When you're drinking milk, you are stealing the food of the calf, the baby cow. So people think that eating meat is bad, but then drinking milk is okay. If you go very if you follow the same logic as taking meat, then when you are taking milk of uh, taking milk, drinking milk, even that is a harmful thing. So so the most important thing is whether you are eating meat, whether you are eating drinking milk, or even when you are consuming so-called vegetarian dishes, you have to always be very mindful of what you are eating. That so many sentient beings, human beings, animal beings, insects, so many sentient beings um, contribute for this bowl of rice in front of you, for this bowl of vegetable in front of you. All these things do not come out of nowhere. Just because you paid for that product that produce in the supermarket um, doesn't mean you have nothing to take care of. All these things before it came to your table. It came to your table. It was in the grocery store. Before that, it was in the farms. It was in the plant. It was there, here, and there. So you have to. Most important thing is mindful consumption. Yeah, be mindful and be grateful for the contribution that the sentient beings have made for your food, whether it's a so-called vegetarian dishes, like when you are having rice and vegetables, even rice and vegetable, they have so many insects, so many germs had to be, lives has to be sacrificed. But we usually only feel for the bigger animal because we can see the blood and we can see them, they cry. The smaller animals also insects also feel pain. It's just because we are immune to that. We are unaware of that. Does not mean it does not exist. So the most important thing is to live a life of mindfulness. When you are eating, even when you are drinking water, hot water, you boil the water, killing so many insects, killing so many germs, which are living beings, microorganisms. So being mindful of all of that, and then living a mindful, living a life with mindfulness. That is the key. Yeah. Knowledge. So next is and this is animal realm in short. So animal are not only being killed by their own kind, but also by a different species, the human beings, right? So that's how they are suffering at all times. Of course, not all animals are suffering, so to speak. Like sometimes, like dogs and cats, some of the pet animals, they get very much care from their owner, like that. So these are so even though they are born in the animal realm, and then of course they have to they do experience the suffering of dullness, which means they don't have the ability of the intellect to study the Dharma and get out of samsara, etc. in this lifetime. But then, even though intellectually they may be low, but emotionally they live a very happy life. When they have a good owner to take care of them, etc. But then still, they're very much dependent on the owner. The owner has to be there constantly. When the owner leaves, for example, like a dog, when the owner leaves the house, the dog is in always suffering. The reason why the dogs wag their tail and lick your face when you come back from your office work and etc. when it's because there's so much long for your return. Because a dog's life is dog live up to 12, 15 years of human life, right? For 15 years of dog life, sorry, 15 human years is almost like 80 something years for the dogs. So in that understanding, leaving the dog for one day, when you leave your house for your work, for 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, like that, for that dog it feels like months. Yeah, they feel like they separated from the owner. Or we think that we call ourselves the owner of the dog, but the dogs don't think we are the owner. It's a human conception, right? That we are the owner. I own the house, I own the car, I own that person, I own that. I don't know in your language, particular language, what you call the meaning of husband and wife in English. I don't think that has the connotation. For example, in the Indian, like Hindi word, the husband is usually called the pati. Pati means the owner, and the husband is the owner of the wife, of the family, etc. And that kind of concept is not foreign, not alien to many other cultures, many Asian cultures. So the man is the owner, right? That sort of thing. Anyway, I'm digressing here. So we think of so when we separate from the animal for our pet dogs for one day, they feel so much longing, and then they suffer too. Yeah, even those animals which are very well taken care of, they also suffer when we are absent, and like that. So overall, the animals suffer in their own animal kingdom, as well as through manipulation of the human world. So they suffer they're like twofold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So now next is the preta, the hungry ghost. Yeah, the hungry ghost realm. So out of the six, out of the three lower realms, the animal, the hell realm, the animal realm, the hell realm, and the preta realm. So the preta usually translated as the hungry ghost. Yeah, they are always remaining. They're always craving for something, for food they cannot find. Even if they find a food, they cannot consume it. When they try to consume it, it burns, etc. So we will now, next is the animal. Sorry, the preta realm. Okay, preta realm. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So there's 7 verses. 7 verses on the preta, starting from verse number 91 all the way up to verse number 97. I will read the Tibetan. Yeah.
Yeah.
이다나야 데베 폼바 예게베 동야 균자미 줘봐 저거만 장어 잘라 지과 예게베 시도 메시텐셀로 가지에 가네 갑예메선라 또바리 예데자마 데베 니네 메상기 나라 보베와 중세 경아제베 도다 덴바말라 가지바르 류싱에 저보데 달레 양도 깜바도보라 가지게 생신 가네 바와 데서 바르베 가르게 카르바바 체마 젤레 메리엔 가네 나다 지사다 차소 메상 와야 메냐 데베 준 농도 소와징에 좀바네 Wa jun mi be na ze lo yi da na ma la su ge du zo ne da wa za la gun du ni ma cha chen shen de bu me ju ro de da ye te ba zam ye lu ya ga ba ra ju ro pa che me ba ra du ne la te ba ju ro ba ni ba ra je be le ye sha ba ni sa be jin be lu jen ka je lo nga dong da da chi yang chi me ju ro de da yi da nam ye na zo be du ne ro che do ba kan la ba de ju ne ge wo jung ga wa sa na pa mi la ba ra sang ye song. Yeah. So all the way from verse number 91 to 97. Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah. So the first verse. Yeah. Oh yeah. For pretas too, there is not the slightest break in suffering from their unfulfilled desires. What dire misery they must endure from hunger, thirst, cold, heat, fatigue, and fear. Yeah. So the most punishing suffering for them is the unfulfilled desire. Whatever they wish to, whatever they're wishing for, they do not get it. Yeah, and most importantly, the physical desires, food, comfort, warmth, coolness, etc. So they don't get any of that. Even so, for example, like I think it will some of the following verses actually talk about this. For example, like when it's usually human beings in all other worlds, human world or the animal world, animal realm, etc. When we get cold, we go out into the sun to get warm, right? So touching the sun makes us feel warm. When we go into the shades, we feel coolness. So when for the pretas, it's exactly opposite. When they feel cold and then they go out in the sun, they feel much colder due to the karmic obscuration that they have. So it somehow turns them into feeling more cold when they see the sun. And then when they're in the shade, they become more, they feel warmth, they feel hot, etc. So due to their karma. Yep. So the next verse. So some, their mouths like needle's eye, their bellies huge as mountains, ache from want of food. They do not even have the strength to eat discarded scraps, the smallest bits of filth. So you see this even in today, even in our world, we see people suffering from malnutrition. They're very skinny body, overall body is very skinny. Even the throats are tiny, and then their bellies are protruding, very big. Right? We see that in malnourished children in the African subcontinent. We see that. So you have an idea of how a preta would look like, yeah. And so the pretas, some of them, their mouths are as tiny as an eye of a needle. So this is a analogy, of course. So very tiny, very small for any food to be consumed. But the tank to be filled, the stomach itself is so big, as huge as a mountain, or so basically too big for that small mouth to feed. So even if you're able to consume a tiny bit of food, which is very difficult to find, let's say you find a food and that you're able to consume it, even when you consume it, it burns your stomach. And what little and whatever is being what little has been ingested by the stomach cannot fulfill your desire physically or mentally, like that. So the reason I used I mentioned Africa is not, I'm not like looking down on Africa or anything. What I'm saying is these things are real. You can actually see them in our world. So we see the suffering of animal realm. We see the suffering. We also, when we talk about the suffering of the preta and the hell realm, we feel like, oh, maybe these are just some myth, right? But actually not myth. This is something very real. You can actually see. Okay. So then the next verse: some, their naked bodies, skin and bone, are like the dried out tops of a tala tree. Tala is the plantain tree, the plantain palm trees, the plantain banana leaves, like that. So basically no bark. Yeah. When you remove each of them, it just comes out. With the normal tree, you remove the branches, the trunk is still there. So basically, their body is like that, all dried up, all skin, because they don't get basically not malnourished. Yeah. And some have mouths that belch forth fire by night. Into their burning mouths, sand falls as food. So when they consume something, a lot of time it turns into sand or something inedible. Yeah, they find something edible. When they consume it, it becomes an. If you take it metaphorically, there are many delicious food that considered delicacy, good food, but when you eat it, you cannot, because you are diabetic or because you have what do you call it, hypertension, high blood pressure, etc. Good foods that you cannot consume, it's very normal, right? The so-called many good foods like fried items that are delicious, tasty, etc. You cannot consume them because you have high blood pressure, because you have diabetes, etc. So from that understanding, yeah, the foods that the pretas do not find food in general, but when they find some nice food and they try to consume it, it turns into sand, or it turns into things that will harm their body.
Yeah.
Then next verse, okay? A few unlucky ones don't even find some dirt to eat. Pus, excrement, yeah, or blood. They don't find anything to eat, yeah. And then because of that, what they do is, because they cannot find what we consider as dirty and waste, like excrement, right? And blood and pus and all these dirty things, unhygienic things. So even those things are unfindable for them. It may be there, but they cannot find it. Sometimes when our mind is in distress, and then we are looking for an object that we have misplaced, it may be right on the table, but we do not see it. Our mind is not there. So similarly, they cannot find the food they want to eat. Not only not just food, even the dirty things, waste like excrement, pus and things like that. So what they do is they hit each other. I hit you and you hit me, and then the blood from my face, or the pus from my face, or basically the dirty things that come from my body, I will eat. Sorry, you will eat, and from yours, I will eat. So they hit. So the line goes like this: they hit each other in the face and eat the pus that festers from their swollen necks. So I hit you, and then the blood that comes. So basically, like the zombie movies. So I drink your blood, and then after I leave after I hit you, the wound. After a few days, the wound start oozing. The wound start oozing pus and other dirty things. So these things I consume. So it sounds very disgusting, but that is the reality. Yeah. So I think I mentioned last time, a long time ago, that the pus and the saliva or the phlegm of arhats or monks who keep all their vows very pure. So when they spit like that, they spit on the ground, or yeah. So the arhats, monks who keep their vows very pure, and basically someone uh, follows this, who keeps the samaya pure, yeah. Lay people who keeps the samaya pure, etc. So those people, even their dirty things like their waste, their spit, etc., becomes food for the pretas, so they can find this food. Yeah. So that's why. And then those people, like normal people like us, who are not arhat, who are not able to practice properly, etc., even we can offer our discarded bodily waste, like our excrement and spit and all of these, by blessing, by blessing them with the waste mantra, the mantra for blessing the phlegm, the mantra for blessing the snot, the mantra for blessing excrement, stool, urine, etc. I think I shared them last time, but I will share this time also. So you can recite those mantra. Usually you can print out this mantra, put it in your toilet, restroom, and then when you are doing your number 1 or number 2, you can recite that mantra and then offer that food to the pretas. Then verse number 95. So like I mentioned earlier, for hungry ghost, the summer moon's too hot. In wintertime, the sun is far too cold. Fine trees and orchards wilt and lose their fruit, and simply from their gaze, great streams run dry. So yeah, usually in the summertime, it's very hot. So we try to go to the shade, or we wait for the night. Usually it's said, we believe that usually the coolness of the moon bathing is cool for us. So for the hungry ghost, the summer, when it's very hot, even the moon's light burns them. And in wintertime, the sun's light makes them feel uh, cold. And just by looking at some of the streams, when they see a stream, a river, they look at them, just by looking at them, and they keep looking at them and running towards the stream of water. And by the time they get to the water, the stream, that point, the streams run dry, like that. So those, and then when they get to the source of the water source, the spring or the stream anywhere, then they're dry. Or when they reach there, those water also turns into stream of the stream of water turns into a stream of pus, like that.
Yeah.
So so next one is, and then the next line, verse number 96 is, okay, so the predators suffer a lot, but how long they suffer? Like animals, they suffer not too long, right? Animals live less years than human beings. So the suffering of predators are too dire. So how long they suffer for? Do they suffer for like few days, or maybe a few years? How long they suffer? And then the answer to that is given in the next verse. Verse number 96. And some have bodies bound by that tight noose, their karmic store of previous evil deeds, now born as constant misery and pain. For 5 to 10,000 years, they will not die. So this is the lifespan of a preta. So when you are in the life when you are born in the preta realm, you live up to from 5 to 10,000 years. It's still less than the animal the hell realms, which live up to millions of years, but but much more than human realm. The suffering is from 5 to 10,000 years. So all these things. So where does this come from? Is it because the punishment from the gods are angry, whatever it is? Of course not. All this comes because we everything is attributed to karma, law of causality, yeah, cause and effect. So what is the cause for all this suffering that the hungry ghost, the pretas go through? What is the cause for that? The cause for that is explained in the next verse. The cause of these, the pretas' varied woes, and all such kindred torments one might get, is being greedy. This the Buddha said. Stinginess is not for the sublime. Yeah, so being greedy means being greedy means wanting what others have, having the desire to take other people's wealth, house, partner, etc. So basically, not being content with what you have. Of course, in order to succeed in life, you need to have a big ambition, all that thing. That is good, but at what cost? Your ambition at the cost of other people's life, other people's happiness, this and that. When you do that, when you take somebody else's wealth, somebody else's partner, somebody else's things, possessions, whether you do it by forcefully, when you execute that forcefully, or when you do it with how to say, with a lot of planning, and when you execute that plan methodically, you think, okay, I did everything according to the law. Nobody has seen it. Nobody can accuse me. They cannot. The police will not get me. The government will not get me. All that's true. Yeah, the law of the land may be blind, but the law of karma is omniscient, can see at all times, because it stays with you. The law of karma, it stays with you. It doesn't go away. The law of the land has to be seen by someone. A policeman sees it, the authorities sees it, and then you get arrested. You have to suffer the consequence. But the law of karma, nobody has to see it, because you did it. It is with you until you reap the benefit, or you reap the consequences. It always stays with you. I think I'll conclude here. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we will conclude the class for today. Meanwhile, I will just go through the mantra for the purification. Sorry, the mantra for blessing the waste. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can prepare the question if you have. Yeah. Otherwise, I will just. So the first one is the mantra for urine peace. Okay. PP. So that is Om A Mutra Ahare Be Soha. I actually shared that in the group chat. Om A Mutra Ahare Be Soha. Yeah. You can repeat after me. Om A Mutra Ahare Be Soha. The next is feces, shit. Okay. Om With Ahare Be Soha. And the next is body odor. If you smell bad, you can also offer that to the pretas. This is for body odor and fart, gas, fart. Om Mala Arebe Soha, right? Then the nasal focus or snot. Om Vigana Arebe Soha. After that, the phlegm. When you cough, then the phlegm comes out. That is kret. Om Kreta Arebe Soha. Then just regular saliva spit, like when the normal spit, you can just throw the normal spit. That's Om Shlekam Aharebe Soha. Shlekam.
Sleka.
Om Mutra Aharebe Soha. Om a Vita Harebe Soha, Om a Male Arebe Soha, Om a Vigana Aharebe Soha, Om a Kreta Aharebe Soha, Om a Shlekam Aharebe Soha. Like that, yeah?
Yeah, Rinpoche La.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's one question. Can you please tell me what the question is?
Yeah, ở
Is it a
đây có
question
một
or I don't know what it is.
Yeah, yeah, let me see Rinpoche La.
Please.
Yeah. They ask whether the mantra need lung from Rinpoche or not.
Oh, okay, it's done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you already received the loan. Yeah. So no problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now conclude. So, when you go to the restroom,
Yeah.
you can print that out and then put it there. And then you can just glance at the mantra, then read it 2-3 times. There is no specific number. So you can read it like, just 2 or 3 times or whatever. And initially you just read it, glance at it, read it. And after some time you can just memorize it. It comes to your memory. And then whenever you go out, when you throw a spit, whatever, you can use that. Yeah. That way you have your waste no longer becomes a waste. Yeah. And then it also gives you more excuse to spend more time in the restroom. So now the
dedication.
Inge wa di nyo do da lama sangye ndro gyoro ne ndro wa che kyang ma ge ge sa lang mara sho chan jo sem jo rembo che ma ge ba na ma ge gyoro ge bo nyam ba me ba yang kon ne kon do be wa ra sho me me Vede generesi, Jimmy Gembe, Wine Boy Jambe, De Boy My Lu Joman Zesang Wenda, Kanjin Gewe, Zogin Zondan Bong. Lord, Son, Jai, Be, Shai, Lai, Soi, Wan, Di. Lord, Son, Jai, Be, Shai, Lai, Soi, Wan, Di. Dembe, Ningbo, Zembe, Benga, Shin, Lama. Gula, Jangjun, Be, Lozang, Chege, Jamze, Chogun, Do, Dengen, Jordan, Dambaran, So, Wan.
Thank you, Zivuchela.
Thank you, Chiwang. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Hong. Yeah.
Rinpoche La, maybe next week you will answer the question that if our parents, our ancestors become preta, what should we do to help them? Yeah.
If they're in the preta realm, offerings is helpful because there is so Suru can be helpful. Especially because you're related, your ancestor, you're related. That way it becomes more effective. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Hong. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche La.
Thank you.
Have a good day,
Bye-bye.
Rinpoche La.
Thank you.